24 games over the course of 22 years, and the Call of Duty franchise is still going. But how is this even possible? Recent AAA titles couldn't even stay afloat shortly after release, and some franchises died with fewer games despite being massively popular at one time. What is Call of Duty's secret? You see, I've been playing Call of Duty for most of my life. As crazy as that sounds, it's true. There's been some good years.
We want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
And some not so good years. But in a world where publishers seem to care more about making money and less about the quality of the games they release, I wanted to go back to the very beginning to see how it all started. But our story doesn't begin with Call of Duty. It actually begins with a game called Medal of Honor Allied Assault from Electronic Arts. This game was a classic World War II shooter, and it had great success. But the creators of the game, Jason West and Vince Zampella, they wanted more. They wanted to do something bigger. So they decided to leave EA and start a little company that you probably have never heard of. But they needed one thing before they could get started on their new and improved game.
Money!
So they were looking for investors willing to take on EA's big franchise, and they ended up meeting with Activision. Now that Infinity Ward had money rolling in from Activision, they started building their first game. At the time, they were completely unaware that this game would change gaming forever. It's 2003, and Call of Duty took the world by storm. Despite there being a lot of competition in the World War II shooter genre, Call of Duty was a massive success and the jumpstart the series had been looking for. This game was so much of a success that Activision starts thinking,
money!
And buys a stake of Infinity Ward. But now they have to release a sequel. And after the success of the first game, they wanted to go even bigger. Meanwhile, Microsoft was looking for games to launch on their next generation console. Man oh man, was Call of Duty 2 on the Xbox 360 a success. It was the sequel that everybody wanted. And aside from amazing gameplay and innovative technology they had in the game also featured amazing voice acting. Call of Duty 2 was a greater success than the original, selling over 5 million copies. You see, Jason, Vince, and the rest of the team at Infinity Ward were killing it. So Activision decided to buy Infinity Ward out completely because, money. But Activision was demanding more Call of Duty, but making games is hard. At that time, it would take roughly 2 years of time and money to develop a fully fledged Call of Duty game. So Activision decided to acquire another game studio, Treyarch, so they could release a game every single year. Call of Duty 3 is Treyarch's first attempt at a Call of Duty game, and the game was good, but it kind of felt like a copy and paste of last year's game with a few last minute changes. This was against everything Infinity Ward stood for. Infinity Ward was originally created to continuously outdo themselves and set the bar higher and higher each time they released a game. So Infinity Ward, staying true to their beliefs, came out swinging and pulled off the unthinkable with the most revolutionary game in Call of Duty history.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
A fluid control scheme, 60 FPS gameplay, perks, the achievements, kill streaks, all done in a modern era. COD 4 Modern Warfare literally changed first-person shooter games forever. It was even the first game to dethrone Halo 3 as the most played game on Xbox Live. The modern military take was an amazing surprise, but apparently Treyarch was out of the loop on this one. While World at War was based on World War II, even though Infinity Ward just released the first Modern Warfare, it was still a great game, and it introduced a new fan favorite game mode, Call of Duty Zombies. World at War was a very successful game despite going back to World War II, but it did feel a little bit odd coming out after Modern Warfare. But little did everybody know, Infinity Ward was just getting started. Bigger, better, and a direct sequel to Modern Warfare, Infinity Ward created what many Call of Duty fans consider to be the greatest Call of Duty of all time. As far as Infinity Ward was concerned, Call of Duty was their world, and Treyarch was just living in it. You see, Jason and Vince created Call of Duty, and they felt like they could do whatever they wanted with whoever they wanted. So they started chatting with their old buddies over at EA, and Activision did not like that one bit. And just like that, the original creators of the franchise were fired from Infinity Ward. Jason and Vince ended up suing Activision for not completing their contract and refusing to pay royalties that they were promised, but the debate was settled out of court before it could be heard by a trial. Along with the termination of Jason and Vince, roughly 40 other Infinity Ward employees stepped away. So Modern Warfare 2 was at its peak, and Activision was secretly on fire behind the scenes. It looked like Call of Duty was actually going to die. But then Treyarch came in to save the day.
What do you want from me?
We want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
Black Ops had a fantastic campaign. They created some of the most iconic maps in Call of Duty history and improved upon their Zombies game mode. This was the first game that Treyarch developed that was entirely unique to them, and they smashed it out of the park. But behind the scenes, Infinity Ward was struggling after Vince, Jason, and 40 other employees left, and it looked like they weren't going to get their next game, Modern Warfare 3, completed in time for launch. So Activision acquired yet another studio named Sledgehammer Games to help complete the game on time. And well, the game was pretty good. Decent campaign story, great multiplayer gameplay, but nothing really special, and the game felt a little bit rushed. Then Treyarch decided to come out with another banger of a Call of Duty, which is the last Call of Duty many people consider to be a part of the golden era of Call of Duty, Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 was a slightly futuristic game based in the year 2025. Wait. It's 2025 right now. Overall, fans loved the game, and it created a lot of hype. And then Ghost released and killed the hype completely. Looking back on it, I don't think Ghost was a horrible game. I think it just came out next to the best lineup of Call of Duty games in Call of Duty history. Anyways, Advanced Warfare brought us way into the future with Call of Duty's very first jetpack game, which some people loved, but most people hated. Black Ops 3 was okay, mainly because they perfected the zombies mode, and then everyone was so tired of jetpack games, yet they released Infinite Warfare anyways, which is still the most disliked video game review trailer on YouTube with more than 3 million dislikes. Call of Duty World War II forgot that everyone was over World War II games after World at War in 2008, and then Black Ops 4 released and it was not even a complete game because it was missing the campaign. But they made an attempt at the Battle Royale genre with Blackout, which showed promise, but seemed a little bit rushed. At this point, it looked like Call of Duty was falling off. They released 5 mediocre games in a row, and many fans were starting to leave to play bigger and better games. This looks like it's the end for Call of Duty.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Then out of nowhere, Infinity Ward goes back to their roots with a brand new Modern Warfare game. For the first time in 5 years, the community went crazy over the newest Call of Duty game, and Modern Warfare 2019 grossed over $600 million in the first 3 days. They also released Warzone during the life cycle of this game, which was the battle royale that fans dreamed of. And this was leading into the dark days of COVID lockdowns. So Call of Duty was back and bigger than ever. Black Ops Cold War came out and it was a pretty good game, but it was plagued with a lot of connectivity and other issues. Then Vanguard ruined all of the hype, being one of the worst reviewed Call of Duties of all time. To try and save themselves after Vanguard, Infinity Ward copy and pasted Modern Warfare 2019 to create Modern Warfare 2, but they removed a lot of features that nobody asked for. They nerfed the movement, they removed the red dots from the minimap, they never released a combat record, they removed map voting for the next match. All of this while releasing one of the most confusing UIs of all time. Seriously, it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to invite my friends to my game. With the growing distrust among fans, Infinity Ward copy and pasted Modern Warfare 2 and released Modern Warfare 3. And the funny part is, their biggest selling point for this game was that they added back most of the features that they took away in Modern Warfare 2, and that they also copy and pasted the original Modern Warfare 2 maps from 2009. I'm sure that most people would have rather had Modern Warfare 2 2009 remastered over what we got. Rest in peace, SM2. And then that finally brings us to today, and I'll let you be the judge of how Black Ops 6 is doing. What's your favorite Call of Duty? And what was the very first Call of Duty that you ever played? Comment down below. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button and also consider subscribing. It's free and it helps out the channel a lot. Also, thank you so much for watching and all of the support on the last video. It really means a lot to me. And lastly, comment down below what video game you want me to make a video on next. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.